Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Daniel Martinez. I work at the LGBTQ Center of Long Beach as a domestic violence counselor advocate. A little history about me. I will say I did, post-graduating, I did 2 years of working in batters intervention programs. So intervention programs with batters, mainly male Latinx identified. From there, I got hired at the LGBTQ Center because of that job, because they wanted to start doing prevention work pre them going into the criminal justice system. So at the LGBTQ Center, we are one of 2 domestic violence service providers that specifically work with LGBTQ plus identities. So what we do there, a lot of people don't think that the LGBTQ community goes through domestic violence, including the LGBTQ community themselves. So the way we get clients there is they come funneled through the mental health department, which they want to do couples counseling. So from there, they are sent to us, and we do an assessment individually to see if they are fit for couples counseling. We do notice that a lot of times when couples want to do couples counseling, there is domestic violence in the relationship. So we feel like it's unsafe to put them in a room together just to basically, like we said, air out their laundry and then go back home and something might happen. Mike had said that also men go through domestic violence, and it is true, men also go through domestic violence and along with our trans-identified people and our non-conforming people. It is really hard for people to get services. Just because, especially with victims for shelters, let's say we send a trans woman to a shelter, a lot of times shelters won't take them in because they don't know how to handle a trans woman. They're like, well, they were born male, what do we do? Where do we put them? We don't know if we should put them with the women or the men. Also, my type of work is like I said, I do a lot of prevention. So what we do is once we see that couples aren't capable of doing couples counseling, we separate them first. We advise them to do individual counseling. I usually get the people that are a little bit more on the aggressive side, and they do individual counseling with me, and also a stress empowerment management group that I run. I believe that my work is really important just because I've seen so many changes in individuals either wanting to make changes in the relationship, realizing that their behaviors are abusive and not healthy, and that they shouldn't be doing them. Also, I rarely work with some victims, but when I do work with victims, that kind of work that I do is really important. And I feel like my agency, we really need this funding just because there's only 2 of us working, myself and my boss, doing this kind of work in my agency. So whenever one of us has to leave, there's only one person stuck back in the office, and we have a bunch of clients that we have to see. So having to cancel clients is really hard for them, because it's really crucial work that we do. We're always there for them. And yeah, that's it.
Well, with that, thank you for being here. I know you left your boss by himself today. Then, yes, but thank you. Any questions from the committee? Comments? Ms. Khan?
Can you tell us a little bit more about, especially given there's only 2 of you serving this work at your agency, how many other agencies throughout California do this work, and where are they located? Because being in the Bay Area, I know we probably have a huge need for this kind of support for domestic violence victims as well.
Yeah, so unfortunately the 2 agencies is the LGBTQ Center of Long Beach and the LGBTQ Center of Los Angeles, so they're both Southern California.
So we have no support for those, or specific culturally relevant support for LGBTQ domestic violence survivors in the Bay Area?
Exactly. So a lot of other agencies want to basically want us to give them training on how to work with this population. And like I said, like my agency is only 2 of us. There's only so many ways we can be stretched out.
Wow, well, thank you for doing this work. I know it's important to the community you're serving.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Ms. Limon?
Thank you for the information you've shared with us. I was curious, you described some of the challenges that exist in serving a broad population, including members of our LGBT community. Do you have any suggestions on elements or things that could be different that would facilitate a more effective way to serve our LGBT community who come in through centers or nonprofits? Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I know like this movement has been very binary when it comes to women are victims, men are usually the batterers. And when it comes to the LGBTQ community, it's more complex, right? Because there's different types of identities, sexual orientation, gender identity. And a lot of people tend to get confused when it comes to this, right? You know, let's say there is a lesbian couple, right? And there's something that happens. One is more masculine presenting, one is more female presenting. Sometimes when law enforcement gets involved, they automatically assume that the more masculine presenting woman is the aggressor just because of our gender norms. So definitely thinking outside of the box when it comes to roles. Women can be abusive as well. And anyone can be abusive, right? Anyone can fall into this role. It's just all about learning these behaviors and unlearning unhealthy ones.